Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing another scene breakdown video from Heartland Season 14, Episode 3. If you are brand new to my channel and maybe have not seen a scene breakdown video before, let me just explain what this video is going to be about real quick and what I'm going to be doing in this video. So, I'm a huge fan of Heartland. Surprise. In case anyone was unaware of that fact about me, yes, I'm completely obsessed with Heartland. I love this show. So basically, a scene breakdown video is where I take each individual scene from the most recent episode of Heartland, in this case being Heartland Season 14, Episode 3, and I talk about what happens in this scene, what I liked about this scene, the acting in the scene, the characters involved in the scene, and if I think this scene will have any long-lasting effects on the rest of the season, or even to go as far as the rest of the series if I feel the scene was that important to the show. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the scene in Heartland 1403 where we see Jack and Lily have the conversation about Ty's death. Now, this is a scene I absolutely loved for many reasons. But before I go any further in this video, I need to remind you guys to please leave a like on this video if you enjoy, and to leave a comment as well letting me know that you guys enjoy when I do these types of videos. That's simply because these videos, these scene breakdown videos, they are, you know, people think that when you're watching a YouTube video, it's just me talking to a camera. That's 90% it. But the other 10% of it is me watching certain scenes over and over and over and over and over again to know everything that happens in the scene. So these scene breakdown videos, they don't just happen. None of these videos on my channel just happen. 9 times out of 10, I have to go back and re-watch the episode like 3 times so I know everything that happens. Am I complaining about that? No. But that being said, if you guys enjoy when I do these types of videos, just make sure to leave a like and drop a comment, because that is the best way to let me know that you guys enjoy when I do these types of videos. And with videos that take a longer amount of time to make and to create and to produce for you guys, I really want to know that I'm making videos that you guys enjoy watching. So if there's videos that you guys enjoy more than others, the best way to let me know that is by leaving a like and dropping a comment. But with that YouTube promo out of the way, let's finally jump into today's video. So as I said, the scene with Jack and Lily in Heartland 1403, I loved this scene. If you guys have been subscribed to my channel for, well, any more than a day, you know that I love Lily's character on Heartland. Megan Follows absolutely nails her performance as Lily Borden, and she always has on Heartland, in my opinion. Her character is absolutely one of my favorite characters, but let's be real, Lou's my favorite character. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that, because then I'll go down the rabbit hole and I'll be here talking for an hour about things that this video is not about. Hi, welcome to my channel. Make sure you subscribe. I would really appreciate that. But when it comes to Lily on Heartland, especially in Season 14, I had a lot of questions about her character's return in Heartland Season 14, especially because her character was going to be arriving to Heartland after the events of Heartland 1401 and Ty's death. So I was like, alright. And then with the promos for 1403 that were released, I had a lot of questions about Lily's arrival simply because of the way Amy reacted when she saw Lily. Now, for those of you that might be unaware, there is a year time jump in between the events of Heartland 1401 and the rest of Season 14, meaning that there's a year that's passed since Ty's death, which I gotta be completely honest with you guys, I'm not a fan when TV shows do that, because I feel like it doesn't feel right, in my opinion. I'm not a fan when TV shows do time jumps, but there's a time jump and there's nothing we can do about it. So there is a year time jump in between the events of Ty's death and the rest of Heartland Season 14. So when Lily arrives to Heartland and you see Amy's response to Lily, and basically the fact that Amy is not happy that she's there. In fact, if anything, she's angry and upset. And I said even before I watched Heartland 1403, I was like, I bet this is Lily's first time coming to Heartland since Ty's death. And I bet you that is why Amy's upset at her. And I was right. This was Lily's first time coming back to Heartland since Ty's death. That upset a lot of people, I feel like. Or maybe not a lot of people, but even when I did my trailer, breakdown videos or reactions or whatever, a lot of the comments were, Lily should have been there. She should have been there for Amy. She should have been there for Lindy. Why is this the first time she's coming back to Heartland since her son's death? Did she forget she has a granddaughter? And comments like that. And I have to be honest, I really wasn't surprised that this was Lily's first time coming back to Heartland since Ty's death. Lily, even though she is one of my favorite characters, she has not played a major role in Heartland even when Ty was alive. So I wasn't surprised that she hasn't played a big role after his death. Okay, alright. But when it comes to Jack and Lily, the reason I loved that this scene in particular between Jack and Lily is because even when Lily used to come to Heartland when Ty was alive, she could always talk to Jack. And I feel like I have to mention that basically every character, maybe besides Tim, feels comfortable talking to Jack. And I'm going to talk more about that in a second, but this scene with Jack and Lily where she tells Jack that she couldn't cope with Ty's death and that she relapsed and stuff like that, that scene, it made a lot of sense to just Lily's character, and it basically, that one scene basically made me a lot more okay with Lily's absence since Ty's death. I was like, okay, alright, at least you didn't just, abandon anyone. Like, you didn't want to abandon you didn't want to abandon them, but, stuff happens, life happens, and you could not be there for them even if you wanted to. So that's one of the main reasons I loved this scene, was because it answered the question, why wasn't Lily there for Amy? And it wasn't just because she didn't want to be. She wanted to be, but because things happened, she couldn't be. And that made Lily's absence, at least to me, a lot more okay. I understood it. I was like, okay, yeah, that is something that could happen. Alright, at least you didn't just abandon your granddaughter and daughter-in-law. Alright. And also, I love this scene too because Heartland Season 14 is very different from the rest of the Heartland series. And I've said that basically in every video so far that I've talked about Heartland Season 14 in any way, even going back to my videos on the extended trailer. And Heartland Season 14 is very outside of what we're used to seeing in Heartland for the past 13 years. But the reason that I love this scene between Jack and Lily so much, not just because it gave an answer to Lily's character and why she was absent, but also this scene felt the most Heartland-y. Is that a word? We're going to pretend. It felt like the most Heartland scene so far of Season 14, because I feel like even if Ty was alive and Lily came to Heartland after, not being there for a while, I feel like that conversation that took place between Jack and Lily, that could happen even if Ty was alive. Granted, the whole point of Lily's return to Heartland was because of Ty's death, and that's how the whole, how come you haven't been here for a year since your son's death? Why didn't you even go to the funeral? That's because Ty died I know. But what I'm saying is that I feel like Lily, if she was struggling with something and she came to Heartland, even if Ty was upset with her for some reason, she could go to Jack. Even in the very first episode where we met Lily, she felt comfortable to talk to Jack. And she asked Jack if he thought it was too late to be Ty's mom again. And that is why this scene felt the most like Heartland to me. Now, I'm not saying that season 14 is not Heartland. That is not what I'm saying. But I just feel like this scene, like, let's be honest, everyone feels comfortable talking to Jack. Like, he's Jack. Like, I want to talk to someone like Jack. Like, Jack's just so nice to talk to. And I could literally see this conversation happening between Lily and Jack, even if Ty was still alive. And I know that that could happen because it's already happened in the past. And that is why I really, really liked this scene. It felt like, yeah, I'm watching Heartland, because this could happen no matter what the circumstances of Lily's arrival or Lily's lack of involvement with Ty or Lindy or Amy in the past year. I literally felt like this could literally happen in any season, regardless of why Lily's there or why she hasn't been there or something like that. Now, when it comes to Lily's involvement in the rest of season 14, we do know that she's going to be in Heartland 1404. We saw that in the promo for next week's episode. I have so many questions about that. Why is she still there? Why does she still have Wade's racehorse? And why is Amy still mad at her? Like, I know why Amy's mad at her, and I understand why Amy's mad at her, but, like, why is she mad at her in 1404? What happened? Like, I can't wait to figure that out. Is she going to leave? Is she going to play more of a grandmother role in Lindy's life moving forward? I'd personally love to see that, because that would mean that Megan is in Heartland more, which I would be completely fine with, because Megan absolutely nails her performance as Lily, and she always has, and she always will. Nobody can change my mind on that. Don't care. But I'm really wondering if the scene where Jack, after Amy kind of like loses it on Lou, which I'm going to make a whole other video about, but let's be honest, that video will be 45 minutes long, because it's a scene that happens between my favorite character in Heartland of all time, Lou, and Amy, and so I'm not going to get into that scene now. But when Amy like loses it on Lou for focusing too much on being mayor and not being, you know, there for Amy and all that, and then Jack comes in and talks to Amy about, you know, being a little bit more understanding to Lily and what she's going through and what she always has to deal with. I'm wondering if that is going to play into effect or come into effect when Amy is trying to, you know, deal with Lily. Is she going to be more understanding because of her conversation with Jack? Also, can we just focus on the fact that we had a Jack and Amy moment in this episode, because that was absolutely beautiful and I loved it, and again, it felt more like normal Heartland and not, you know, dark, depressing sadness. But, you know, I'm still loving Heartland season 14, and nothing will change that. But I really liked Lily's involvement or just her story in 1403, and I'm really wondering if they're going to expand more on her character in season 14 and the rest of the Heartland series, should we get a season 15 and stuff like that. I really like Lily's character, if you cannot tell, and I really would like to see her play more of a grandmother role in Lindy's life, especially now that Ty is gone and Amy has to deal with being a single mom and stuff. I'd love to see Lindy have a grandmother in Lily, and just Lily being there for Amy as she deals with, you know, the loss of her husband, and as well as Lily deals with the loss of her son as well, because they are both dealing with the loss of the same person in different ways. Of course, Lily lost a child, Amy lost a husband, but at the end of the day, they are still grieving the loss of the same person, and I'm wondering if that is going to have a long-lasting effect on Amy's relationship with Lily going forward, and if it will help kind of mend their relationship for Lindy's sake, but also for Amy and Lily's sake as well. But that is basically all I have for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. What did you think of Lily coming to Heartland? Were you okay with it? Did you like the way they handled the reason as to why she was absent for the past year? Do you think Amy has a right to be mad at Lily for, everything that happened, or do you think Amy needs to be a little bit more understanding? Let me know what your thoughts in the comment section down below. But with that being said, I'm gonna go. Goodbye.